This video falls under fair use. Fair use allows commentary, criticism, and reactions. What's up, back with another one. So Stephen A. is reacting to the trooper that almost started a scuffle with the South Carolina football team. Check it out.
This is a no-brainer to me. Nick Harper from South Carolina catches a pass, scampers down the field for a long touchdown run, runs into the tunnel because he's holding his hamstring, and then his teammates come to help him because they know that something must be wrong because he kept going in there and he's holding his hamstring. He comes back out. You can see the officer at the stadium walking in between two players and literally bumps into both of them and flexes his arms out before turning around and telling them to get on out of here and all of this other stuff. We saw it. It's clear as day. It's an automatic suspension. The man shouldn't be allowed to work the game again. What you doing messing with a player like that for? Was somebody in street clothes that you didn't know was a player? You knew exactly who it was. You knew it was a player for South Carolina. You knew that, and you did it anyway. There's nothing to think about here. There's no argument. There's no excuse on the part of the behavior of the officer. He shouldn't even be allowed to cover the games anymore, and definitely should be suspended.
And a receiver. Take a look at it in slow motion. The A&M cop bumps the South Carolina football player, and then he turns around and tries to incite a riot. Thankfully, Texas A&M dismissed the cop, and I ain't got to deal with it, but wow.
What happened at the Texas A&M South Carolina football game is unacceptable for an officer who was there to protect everyone in the stadium to walk toward those young players with that level of aggression, that level of intention, that level of purpose, and that purpose being nothing for good is something that just can't happen. And now, if you are these young men's parents, this is worst case scenario for you. This is something you've coached your kids through. You've told them how to behave. You told them what to say. You've told them how to look. And you told them all of these things just to stay alive. And so now in this situation, someone who is in that stadium to protect them is the aggressor. And here's my biggest problem with the whole thing. There was 100,000 people in the stands. There were two entire football teams on the field, and there were millions of people watching on TV. So what kind of decisions does this officer make when no one is watching, when there are no immediate consequences? And thank God that Texas A&M acted extremely quickly to at least try to rectify the situation so everyone on that football field and in those stands could feel safe. But this is a cautionary tale. This is a warning. There are those people that feel so entitled and so empowered and have that level of audacity and also intoxication on power that they believe that they're above the law. It's not just about protecting those young men on the field, which is something we have to do. It's about protecting those young people in these streets, in these schools, that just walk around in everyday life from those who don't understand the power of the badge and the responsibility of it. Thank God today worked out the way it did and we got a great SEC battle. But not every young man is so lucky.
Stephen A. and Ryan Clark expressed deep outrage over the incident in which a sheriff intentionally bumped into South Carolina football players, framing it as both an abuse of authority and a troubling display of aggression toward young athletes. Stephen A. argued that the officer's behavior was unmistakably deliberate, pointing out how the sheriff walked directly between the players, extended his arms to make contact, and then attempted to assert power as if the athletes had done something wrong. He said this type of conduct shows a complete disregard for professionalism and safety, and he emphasized that someone who behaves this way should not be allowed to work games again. Ryan Clark expanded the conversation by highlighting the emotional and social implications, explaining that these young men are raised to be cautious and controlled around law enforcement just to stay safe, yet in this case, the very person assigned to protect them became the aggressor. He questioned what kinds of decisions this sheriff might make when there are no cameras, no fans, and no national audience watching. Clark viewed the moment as a warning about individuals who misuse their authority, becoming intoxicated by power, and forgetting the responsibility that comes with the badge. Okay, so drop a comment, smash that like button, and make sure you subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next video.